Brilliance Audio presents Wayfinding, the Science and Mystery of How Humans Navigate the World by M.R. O'Connor, performed by Teri Schnaubelt. There is no need to build a labyrinth when the entire universe is one. Jorge Luis Borges. Prologue. Wayfinding. In the high plains of East Denver, we rented a car and drove due south on Interstate 25, straight as an arrow toward the cities of Colorado Springs and Pueblo. I watched the landscape rush by at 70 miles per hour, while overhead cumulus clouds cast their shadows on the open country. Just past the New Mexico border, we turned southwest and began to hug the Santa Fe National Forest through Cimarron, then drove due west into Eagle Nest and Angel Fire. That night we slept in a motel in Taos, and I woke up with an idea to visit a local hot spring on the banks of the Rio Grande. I put the name of the spring in my phone's navigation app, and we drove out of town, following its directions, turning down a dirt road that led into a low-lying sagebrush vega. For the next while, we turned onto one unmarked dirt road after another. I focused my attention on the phone's directions until I realized that the track had ended and we could go no farther. We got out of the car and met the waft of dust and crumpled sage, then walked 50 yards ahead to the edge of a cliff. I leaned forward and saw the Rio Grande surging 100 feet below. Somewhere nearby, I guessed, there must be a hot spring, and if only we had brought along some ropes and belay equipment, or maybe a parachute, we could have gotten to it with less risk to our lives. Though our predicament made me laugh, I started to wonder, what mathematical calculation based on unknown, perhaps out-of-date map had come up with this murderous route? And why, I thought, had we naively trusted a disembodied algorithm and its satellite-radiated directions as it directed us toward a steep gorge? I had forgotten that my phone knew nothing of whether humans can fly, or the seasonal flow of the Rio Grande, that it had no actual experience because it had never been born, only programmed by someone who might never have set foot in New Mexico. The novelist Audrey Niffenegger has written that there are different ways to react to being lost. Panic is one. Another is to surrender and allow the fact that you've misplaced yourself to change the way you experience the world. We walked back to the car and sat on its warm hood. Severed from the umbilical cord of our GPS, we looked anew at the land. Before us lay a maze of brush stretching miles into the distance until it met the foot of the mountains, now cast in the purple shade of gathering thunderstorms. What was this place called? We didn't know, and we had no map. We took in our unexpected perch and watched two distinct storm fronts to the north and south. The tangled balls of energy and lightning picked up speed, blowing toward us like tumbleweeds across the plain. The first drops of rain hit the dirt, and we raced our way out of the high desert labyrinth to a paved road that would deliver us to the sanctuary of better mapped places. For a long time, I kept returning to that feeling of disorientation in New Mexico. I was struck by the power of a device to influence the way I moved through the world, how it subsumed my attention, mediated my perception, and lulled me into something like passivity. The way I viewed the technology in my hand changed. I felt suspicious. I was 26 when the first smartphone equipped with navigation technology was released. Old enough that I'd spent my adolescence and the start of my adulthood relying on experience, habit, exploration, paper maps, signage, word of mouth, and trial and error to find my way around. I bought a smartphone in graduate school to get around the streets of New York City's outer boroughs as I hunted for stories and raced to cover breaking news as a newspaper reporter. Just a few decades before, the U.S. government...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?